Yeah, they be like, who is this Mickey Truth girl? Who qualifies her to put a work on these people?
What's up, y'all? It's your girl, Mickey Truth, aka the Queen of Paperwork, and I am back with another video. As always, all information contained in this video is for entertainment, educational purposes only. All information used in this video is per the Fair Use Act, and any conclusion that you draw is on you, not me. So let's get it. What's up, y'all? So, shout out to everybody that has been tuning in to my last video of Take Up Home. I appreciate everybody. Y'all have been tearing up the comments. It's so many of them I haven't been able to reply. I replied to some, and then, a lot of people were replying back. So, I decided to do a quick video. I'm going over some of the comments, not all, so that, I can give my response to it, okay? So, with that being said, give me just a few moments here to load it up. And if we go over to my YouTube, okay, and if you haven't already, make sure you like, comment, share, subscribe, tell a friend to pull up on your girl, Mickey Truth. And as always, go over to MickeyTruth.com and get you that merch because you know your girl stay with that work. So, again, y'all, I be finding new disclaimers to put out there, and one of which is, again, my content is not for everybody. It's at will viewing. Thanks for enjoying the content. That's it. Y'all be saying I'm in my feelings, all this. Nah, it's just point blank because a lot of times I think people think it's mandatory to watch it, although I'm grateful to everybody who does. But if it's not for you, it's cool. Catch me on the next one. Maybe it's a better fit. All right. So, with that being said, let's take a look. Well, let's actually do King Kong 1032. King Kong said, I just went back and read Rondo appeal paperwork. I don't know if you read it all or not, but I think it's more of a clear indicator of what actually happened and who said what and who didn't. It also says basically after they lost trial, Rondo put the whole shooting on C-Day in the analysis part and says C-Day was the sole shooter, page 4. It even says in the paperwork that 3 witnesses placed Rondo at the scene that night. They mentioned all 3 names immediately after that, and they was all women: Herbert, Jones, and Brown. No Carpenter. Never says Tay mentioned him in anything anywhere, but all other labeled witnesses are mentioned for what they say before trial and at trial, page 7. And it tells you how Tay got involved, which is those women grabbed before him mentioned him. All right. So, as y'all can see, my reply was definitely okay, right? Because I'm just like, I mean, what does that have to do with anything? But I wanted to elaborate on that just a little bit more, and it's because let's just go down what the comment says. You went back and read the appeal paperwork, okay? And I'm gonna give you an example once I say this. The appeal paperwork is going to point out things that happened during the trial, right? And it's going to point out different big points that goes with the request for the appeal, okay? First and foremost, on the video, I do say that Take Capone did not take the stand at trial. Take Capone is not part of the trial. That's what I said in the video, okay? That's definitely a fact. So, I say that to say the appeal paperwork doesn't matter in the case of did Take Capone snitch in the investigation of the murder of Javon Boyd. Okay? That was the question. It wasn't if he snitched at trial, if they mentioned he snitched at trial. It was solely if he snitched as part of the investigation into the murder of Javon Boyd, which ultimately led to the murder trial for C-Day and Rondo number 9. Maybe I threw out too much words and it confused some people for the basics of what the video was for. Okay. So, with that being said, my example is this. At the first YNW Melly trial, they mentioned Fredo Bang multiple times. Okay. They mentioned his name, Frederick Givens, multiple times. Right. However, if you watched the trial or if you were there, Fredo Bang, aka Frederick Givens, never appeared at trial at all. However, did you know that Fredo Bang provided a deposition on the case? It's never mentioned at trial. And y'all go check behind me, make sure I'm correct. His deposition is never mentioned. Okay. He was listed on the witness list, never called, never was called, never appeared. However, a deposition was done, right? If Melly would have gotten convicted and filed for appeal, Fredo Bang's deposition wouldn't have been important to the appeal because it never made it to the trial. Okay. Hopefully that example kind of shows more of what I'm saying. So back to Take Capone. Again, the statements from Take Capone was provided by Cook County, okay, state attorney. I showed the actual message. I'm showing y'all where it came from. I'm showing y'all what I requested. I didn't request Rondo number nine's paperwork. I didn't request C days. I didn't request the women. I didn't request nobody but Tay Capone. And only the paperwork that includes Tay Capone part in the investigation. Okay. So right here, this request includes all information regarding Jermonte Carpenter's role in the investigation, including the summaries, at least the dates of all interviews he may have had regarding this case. So I apologize if that wasn't clear to what I was doing. Again, never said or alluded that he was part of the trial. So let's go to the end of the video because I want to make sure I clarified exactly what I was addressing in the video. Let's take a listen.
Was only for Jermonte Carpenter. And I'm going to read what I requested, as y'all can see on the screen. I am requesting any and all bodies, the dates of all interviews he made. With that being said, to the question at hand, did Tay Capone snitch in the investigation of Javon Boyd's murder, which ultimately ended in Rondo number nine and C Day? I mean, doing 38, 39 years now. Before I answer that question, we have clearly saw it was way more people telling hell. Take Capone technically had to be identified because they told him. Other people already said he was there when he tried to say he wasn't. With that being said, it doesn't deter the fact. Did Take Capone snitch? Yes, he did. This is not politic related at all.
Okay, so I just wanted to make sure. So I clearly said, did he snitch in the murder investigation of Javon Boyd? And that is yes. So while you have some great points to the overall case, it does not, and this is what I was saying when I was replying, factor into the fact that Take Upon snitch, regardless if 10 females was at trial, 10 females went into the police department, provided statements. This video was directly focused on one person in particular, Take Upon. Did he snitch? Not did he snitch as a group, not did he snitch after somebody else snitched. It's did he snitch, okay? And King Kong, again, I don't know why y'all think I be angry when I just replied to y'all. But again, a lot of my comments when I apply, let me just read. Maybe I'm tripping. Maybe I said something crazy. I said I'm still confused to your point. I said the point of the video is if Take Upon snitch, not if other people told, not if he was told on, not the trial details, only if Take Upon snitch. And yes, he did. That's it. Now, when I cover the actual murder case, then we can have this conversation. Then it was replied, Mickey Truth, are you angry at me because I have questions? Please don't be. This isn't about me and you at all. I love your content. I'm not throwing shade at what you're saying. I'm just saying, what's the logic behind you not using the appeal paperwork to credit him as much as you use the redacted paperwork to discredit him? What can you show us from the unredacted paperwork that makes him look like a snitch? Wow. These other people's statement and what they said is in the redacted and unredacted paperwork. So why would Tay's statement or a mention of it not be there also? Pretend me and you are next to each other having this conversation. I ask you these questions. Don't take it as if we are arguing because we're not. I'm a fan. I'm just not about to call someone a snitch off covered up paper when the uncovered paper says nothing of him snitching. Also, do you have a response to them mentioning the three witnesses that placed Rondo on the scene and not of their last names being Carpenter? Because I feel that's important in the did he or did he not snitch thing. Like I said, I'm a fan of your platform. Shout out to you. But see, this is where I'm not angry, and I really didn't think what I said would have warranted this reply, but this is where it does kind of get irritating just a little bit because the focus was one point. This is why snitching epidemic is so major and why so many people do that content because it involves, you know why? Because off of a simple question, did Take Upon snitch? We are all over the case. In my reply, okay, and this is just to everybody, King Kong, everybody, including you, I said when we cover the actual case, we can get into all the parties involved. This wasn't that, right? So to answer your question, the appeal paperwork doesn't really matter, to be honest. I only brought up the appeal paperwork because Take Capone and Vlad used that as a source to technically clear him. It wasn't about discrediting him or crediting him. When it comes to snitching, it's no such thing, right? So it wasn't the appeal paperwork is not important. But if we want to make the appeal paperwork important, this is why it would be important. And let me just pull that up real quick. All right, so I'm gonna go down the rabbit hole for content purposes. The appeal paperwork is this because the appeal paperwork, okay, says here Carpenter made a phone call to the either Massey or Ely who were still with Herbert in her van and told them about the altercation at the party. Okay, so everybody follow me. This is the appeal paperwork that so many people want to focus on. Carpenter made a phone call to the either Massey or Ely, who were still with Herbert in her van, and told them that the altercation about the altercation at the party. Then it says Carpenter put the call on speakerphone and Brown could hear Ely's voice, which she recognized on the other end. Okay. Just keep those two sentences in mind real quick. Okay. If we go over to the paperwork that I received directly for Take Capone, okay, and I'm gonna get to that in a minute, but I received directly. All right, so pay attention to this, y'all. Okay, right here, redacted states there were two other girls in the car. One was named redacted. Redacted states they drove off and he made a phone call. Redacted states he called a girl he calls redacted. He states he thought redacted was with her. He called her to talk to redacted. Redacted states he spoke to redacted and told redacted that there were shots fired at the party. Let's go back to that appeal paperwork. Let's fill in the blanks. Let's go back to what it says. Carpenter made a phone call to the either Massey or Ely, who were still with Herbert in her van, and told them about the altercation at the party. Carpenter states he called a girl he calls Herbert. He states he thought Redacted was with her. He called her to talk to Redacted. Carpenter states he spoke to C-Day and told C-Day that there were shots fired at the party. So again, the statement that was provided redacted, okay? Because obviously some of y'all may just be overlooking the fact of the actual response I got. I requested the information solely for Jamonte Carpenter, and literally the file name is Jamonte Carpenter. However, okay, maybe some of y'all just don't care about titles of paperwork. That's cool. However, you can't take away the fact that the same paperwork, okay, that everybody is going towards, the appeal paperwork, fills in the blanks of the redacted paperwork. It clearly outlines who made a call and spoke with C-Day on the phone, just like the person giving the statement said. They said, I made a call and spoke to such and such who was with the girl in the van. So even if you wanted to add different names to it, it doesn't fit the paperwork you're referring to. And I know, and let me say this, I'm not upset. That's just how I talk. I'm sorry. In real life, I'm loud for real. So I mean, my husband think I'm yelling at him all the time. So I mean, that's just me, right? Now, and another thing, when I write in caps, it means I'm on the laptop, okay? And I always have my cap locks on because I don't want nobody to get offended, okay? Um, and back to just a couple more comments, and then I'm gonna get up off here because I do have another video to do. Um, Regardless of who was born where, like I don't know, maybe I was too detailed and it kind of went over some people's head with it. Maybe it was too much information. Y'all wasn't ready for it yet. Because regardless of the birthday, okay, regardless of the birthday, the statement that was provided by Cook County's attorney's office with Jamonte Carpenter name on it, it was redacted. It matches up to, guess what? The information for the background in the appeal paperwork. Although in the appeal paperwork it doesn't say nothing about take upon providing those statements, right? None of, like, that's the part y'all miss. It doesn't say that. What it says is take upon made a call to speak with C-Day. Then they went to Wendy's and all that. That can be matched up to his statement. No way in that paperwork does it say somebody else made a phone call to report on what happened at the party. Nowhere. Only Take Capone said that. That's the dead giveaway. Even if you don't pay attention that the state attorney sent over the file with Take Capone's name on it, and you just focus in on what the actual paperwork says. I mean, how do you? Let me ask y'all this. This is my comment back to y'all. How do you explain? Okay, if y'all want to say it was D Rose or whoever else that made the statement, not Take Capone, how do you explain that statement stating the redacted person giving that statement admitted to making a phone call to the female who was with C-Day? How do y'all explain that matching up to that statement? Because according to the plea paperwork that y'all want to keep focusing on, only Carpenter made the call. Y'all let me know in the comments. Like I said, got a booking tonight. However, I will be responding to those who commented under the Melly conspiracy thoughts we had on Triple Threat Friday. But until then, make sure you like, comment, share, subscribe, tell a friend and tell a friend to pull up on your girl Mickey Truth. And as always, go over to MickeyTruth.com and get you that merch because you know your girl stay with that work. So until next time, holla!
You rappers ain't safe.
No matter what you go through, do what you got to do and conquer the world.